So why did Jermell Charlo not have the the required success in order to beat Canelo, or not even a matter of beating Canelo? Why did Jermell Charlo not even look competitive in his fight against, Canelo Alvarez? So before I jump into this one, be sure to like the video, share the video, drop your comments in the comment section below. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms, on Instagram at official KO Boxing Vibe, on Twitter at KO Boxing Vibe 1. Stay locked into everything KO Boxing Vibe. So Canelo Alvarez beat Jermell Charlo by unanimous decision. Very straightforward victory. They build the fight as the undisputed versus undisputed. Obviously, Charlo was undisputed at 154, and Canelo Alvarez was well, it's not was is still undisputed at 168 pounds. Well, Charlo, I don't know if the WBA stripped him now, and maybe he's just missing that WBO, but he's gonna get all of that rectified. But undisputed versus undisputed was the billing of this fight. Now, initially, it was supposed to be Jermell's brother Jamal. A lot of people do get them mixed up, Jamal, but Jamal obviously fights at 160 pounds, so he's a lot closer to that 168. It's just a one weight class jump. It would have been for him. Jamel jumping up 154, jumping up from 154 up to 168, and to be honest, it did show a lot in the ring. I felt like all of a sudden Canelo looked a lot bigger than Charlo did, because it was very like weird, because at the press conferences and at the face-offs, I don't know if it's because he's wearing these big jumpers or what or whatever, but he looked bigger than Canelo. Canelo looked smaller, a lot smaller than Charlo. But once they've got in the ring, it's like Canelo's rehydrated and he just looks just big. Like he just looks a lot bigger, and Charlo just a lot smaller. And for me, Canelo, well, it wasn't just for me. It was just all quite clear that Canelo was able to impose himself on Charlo, and Charlo was just, he was. I feel like Charlo was feeling the body shots. He was feeling the weight behind the 168 weight behind the punches. And I know Charlo said that he sparred a lot of guys that are, bigger guys and things in that sense. But it's a lot different when it's a proper fight with proper mean intentions, to knock you out. And, it's against the best 168 pounder there is right now. And the 168 pounder we're talking about, Canelo, hits very hard. And, so if that's going to be your introduction to 168 pounds, that is what you call deep waters. And that is where Charlo found himself. For him, I felt like it was just a matter of surviving to the finish. He did get to the 12th round finish, but it was gonna be tough. I feel like the weight was one of the reasons why he didn't win the fight. It's a big jump, and I felt like you could tell he was kind of overwhelmed physically by what he was dealing with. Not just because of Canelo's technical ability in boxing, it's just the physicality of Canelo as well. Because usually you've got fighters, it's either they're very physical, like in their approach, but maybe they're just lacking a bit in the technicality, in the technical skills. Canelo's got both. The boxing ability, physicality. He can do anything. If he wants to do a scrap, he can do a scrap. If you want to box, he can box. Like Charlo, normally he does like to take his time sometimes, and Canelo forced him to have to fight. And Charlo didn't really want to get involved in any of that. He was not trying to get in any sort of proper scrap with Canelo, because even Derek James in the corner was like, "You're losing the fight. You're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to take it to him." And Charlo he did not even register that, because he didn't do none of that. He said, "Listen, I'm not a real 168 pounder. I'm just here to get my payday. Go back down to 168 and call out Terence Crawford and let me get another payday." So that is what I felt in terms of, like, Charlo's approach, because Canelo just dominated the fight. Charlo, the weight, just didn't wasn't able to impose himself enough that he would have needed to have any sort of success. And then he wasn't able to obviously land the power shots he was landing on other people at 154. That's putting people out. Didn't do anything to Canelo, and he wasn't even able to land a substantial amount of those clean power shots either, at this level. So for me, this 154 power didn't really carry up to cause Canelo any sort of problems. He didn't have. He even, I think Charlo said himself, he didn't rehydrate as much as he would have, wanted to, in terms of like his size, because Canelo just looked a lot bigger than him in the ring. Like, to be honest, the way Charlo looked, he didn't even look that much bigger than his 154th build. If you're comparing him to Canelo's build, and it's the first time he's fighting somebody, like I said, like punches the way Canelo punches, and you could see the way he was trying to get out of situations, avoid. He was feeling those punches, but it's difficult. He's not a real 168 pounder. His brother Jermell had moved up. Then I feel like Jermell would have probably had a better crack at it because it's closer to his weight class. He's more physically used to it, and it's a less of a jump in terms of him getting accustomed to 168 pounds. But 154 to 168, and now we've got Terence Crawford talking about 147 to 168. These guys are not looking the same, and we've got a lot of people criticizing Charlo, saying, "Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, or whatever." Listen, you move up 2 weight classes or 3 weight classes, go fight Canelo. Those guys won't be doing nothing either. You won't be doing nothing. You lose a lot of speed sometimes when you move up there, and you haven't got used to it to fight with you the way you fight at that weight. It's hard, man. But yeah, it is what it is. He pretty much, filled the gap for his bro. Got the payday, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, Charlo's enjoying his. After that fight, was like, oh, he didn't listen. This guy's enjoying his millions now, man. He got the payday that he obviously wanted. Obviously, I don't believe he went into the fight not trying, but I just feel like he wasn't able to like impose himself and do what he wanted to do. And it's just one of those things. So drop your comments in the comment section below. What did you guys think about Charlo? Why do you think Charlo lost this fight? Do you think maybe he should have done more? He should have imposed himself a little bit more? If he did do that, would he have risked being getting knocked out? Because obviously he did get dropped. I can't remember which round it was. It round 7 or 6? I can't recall. But he did get dropped. So, and that is Charlo that was trying to be very defensive. If he was more offensive, would he have had a bit more success, or would it have backfired in spectacular fashion? He would have been KO'd. Because ask Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is a very good example where Caleb Plant was he was quite defensive doing the Philly show, rolling on the shoulder, a lot of Canelo's power punches and shots. And then he tried to do his flurries, in spots as well, which I'm guessing Derrick James wanted to see from Charlo. But that does take a lot of energy out of you. It does, take away a lot of your attention in terms of looking at what Canelo's doing as well, to not get clipped yourself. And that's exactly what happened to Caleb Plant. He got a bit slower, defense got a bit slower, he started getting a bit more tired, took a left hook, got knocked out. And I felt like Charlo at some point in the fight, he just felt like he was I think he felt like he wasn't even going to be able to win the fight. I feel like he just, let me just go 12 rounds and have a moral victory. That's what I felt, but it is what it is, man. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Canelo, I need to see him take on I don't want to see him take on. To be honest, I want to, before if he does fight. The only reason why some people say people want to see him fight Terence Crawford is because we know Terence Crawford is going to bring the smoke. He's going to bring the war, and Terence Crawford's his technical ability and his speed potentially, people feel like it's going to cause Canelo a lot of problems. That's why people want to see, even though it will be a 3-weight jump. But before that fight, I've got some other fights I want to see Canelo taking. I want to see Canelo take on Benavidez. Benavidez is going to take on Demetrius Andrade. I want Benavidez to come through that because I don't think Demetrius Andrade is beating Canelo. I want to see Benavidez, big guy, heavy shots, good fast, good hand speed, bulldozer. I want to see that guy fight Canelo. Both Mexicans as well. I think what's his name? Not Demetrius Andrade. I don't want to see Demetrius Andrade fight Canelo, but Benavidez, I think it's half Ecuador, half Mexican. So they could sell it as the all round Mexican derby, of a fight. But I don't know. Is Canelo, maybe he's gonna want to fight Bivol first? He's gonna want to fight a few fights first because it is a risky fight for Benavidez, and I give Benavidez a very good chance of winning that fight because he's very physically imposing. This is not going to be a guy walking back and afraid of getting knocked out or something. He's going to bring the war to Canelo Alvarez. So you have to see what happens from here. So drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you guys think about Charlo? In terms of Charlo's performance, do you believe, he, just didn't try, or do you believe that, the weight jump was just a bit too much for him? Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me see what you guys think. Cool.